If you're a Christian woman, when you're talking somewhere and your husband comes in, keep quiet.
He said, when you're speaking, you're in a place and you're speaking and your husband walks in, fem, keep quiet, let him talk. And probably he spoke, and whatever I spoke was different from what you said. You tell them, wherever you guys are, what I said was a mistake, was whatever I said is true. You guys, let me read the script for you. Also watch to the end. Then we'll come back and discuss.
If you're a Christian woman, when you're talking somewhere and your husband comes in, keep quiet. If you're talking and your husband enters, stop the discourse. Stop. If they ask the question again, do like you don't know what they're talking about. Let your husband talk. And if your husband says what is different from yours, say, I'm sorry, what I said before, this is the best. This is what I actually wanted to say. My husband has just put it right. This is just, my husband, he has a way of explaining it better. This is exactly what I meant. Then re-echo what he said and re-emphasize it. And stand by it. Even if that thing will punish two of you, so let it be. Go home and be punished. When you are being punished, be telling him, you see what you have caused for us? Well, I'm just honoring Christ by following you to suffer. Next time, please think before you answer this kind of things. As we are suffering like this, I don't like it, Jesus. It was you I was honoring. Deliver us from this suffering. Jesus will deliver you. You can never be wrong obeying your husband. Even when he makes mistakes, the grace of God will help you. I'm not joking. I've made some mistakes as a husband. I think it's last week last week or so, we were talking and I said to my wife, because she reminded me some decision I made that didn't turn out really well. And then I now said to her, but honey, even though I've made wrong decisions in certain things in our lives, but at the end of the day, I have never led us into the bush. She said, true. She said, very true. Very, very true. I have no regrets whatsoever marrying you. She said, because you've never, even when you make mistakes, somehow, God has a way of turning the whole thing around to be good. I said, because I am the head of this house. And your submitting to me makes the flow of grace in this family to take care of mistakes that I have made. But if the wife decides for the man, there is no grace for the wife deciding for the family. The grace of that home is on the man deciding.
But you guys know that this is exactly what Christian marriage is. Like Christian marriage. That's why most men always look for God-fearing women, the women that they can actually bring to church, the women that will be very, religious and carry Christianity on their head so that they can easily control. And that's why they like preaching submission to women. This is exactly what Christian marriage is, really. I also saw a video of him talking about submission and him saying that if you know that you cannot submit to a man, as a woman, you want to marry, as a Christian woman, if you know that you cannot submit to a Christian man, do not get married, because your marriage is not going to be successful. It's not possible. Don't even get married, because submission is what keeps the marriage. I have just one reaction on this video. Let me roll the clip for you to watch, then we'll come back and talk about it.
You can never be wrong obeying your husband. Even when he makes mistakes, the grace of God will help you.
That is Nigerian pastor Dr. Abel Damina. He holds a PhD in philosophy and in ministry. And so I respect him as a learned man. However, he is a pastor. And so his utterances will be in line with his biblical faith. I say this all the time, and some religious fanatics come on my page and go like, oh, she's anti-Christian or something like that. Christianity is a patriarchal weapon against you women. Christianity is founded on patriarchy. The earlier women acknowledge that's their better. Am I saying that do not be a Christian? No. But I'm telling you that the foundation of the religion we practice is patriarchy. You serve a male god, a religion designed and developed by men, a Bible written by men. In the Bible, no promised child was a female. All the promised children were male. None of the disciples were female. All the disciples of Christ were male. My point is, you are in a religion that is male dominated. You serve a supreme God that is a man. The foundational belief, which is the ontology of Christianity, is patriarchy and male centeredness. That is the reality. So if you're a Christian woman, you need to have some critical thinking to be able to deconstruct Christianity and make sure that you are not being oppressed. The way Christianity was packaged and delivered to Africans implied that they lose all sense of logical and rational thinking. So long as you're a Christian, you abandon your brain power. You don't use your brain. You just follow like a zombie. That is the way Christianity was packaged to Africans. As a result, you will see men of God on the pulpit, some of them that are knowledgeable, like Dr. Abel Damina, and they will tell you that as a woman, when you are talking and your husband comes around, keep quiet. Whatever your husband says, go with it. Do you know that women are married to men who are less intelligent than their wives? Do you know that women are married to men who lack the ability to think and to make a sound decision? But no, so long as he's a Christian man, oh, God will give you the grace to go through. There are women who are married to men who lack the ability to make a sound decision, who are less intelligent than their wives. So imagine marrying a man you're more intelligent than, a man you have the ability to make better decisions than, and your pastor and your religion is telling you that as a Christian woman, you don't need to express your views when your husband is around. And anytime your husband is around, you go with whatever your husband is saying simply because he's a man, not because he has the proven record, he has the intellect, and he has the ability to think critically and make sound decisions. To his credit, he said, as a Christian woman. So this applies to women who perceive themselves as Christian women. My name is Dr. Zita. I'm a sociologist. Am I disappointed in Dr. Abel Damina? No, because whatever he said is in line with his profession and his faith as a pastor. From a logical and a critical thinking standpoint, does that make sense? No, because as a woman, you have a brain. If God did not want you to use your brain, he would not give you a brain. So having a husband does not mean that you lose your individuality, you lose your autonomy, and you lose your thinking abilities. I wish all Christian women the very best. Remember, you can be married to a man who lacks the ability to think, and you can be married to a less intelligent man, and there's nothing God is going to do about it. When you marry somebody, you live with the consequences of the choice that you made. If you're not following, guess what? Hit the follow button.
I saw a comment section of one of the videos where someone said the only time I can keep quiet when I'm talking and my husband walks in is when I'm gossiping about him. I also saw another comment of someone say, oh, no wonder this marriage thing didn't work for me because that submission shit was not going to work for them. But my own take is when it comes to submission and Christian marriage and Christian relationship and Christian household, you see people quick on talking about submission to the wife, talking about deep respect to the wife, talking about how you can be submissive, why you should be submissive. This is why your relationship is going this way because you're being rude, you don't have respect, you're not submissive, you're submissive, sha. But they do always forget that it is not only the woman that has a role to play. Because if you're going through the Bible, through the book, or going through the Christian route, the men also have their role to play. Most of the time, the men do not go to their side. They tell you that you have to be submissive because that's what they keep hammering on be submissive, be submissive, be submissive. And most of the time, when you listen to what submission is, what these men think submission is, it's more or less like be a fool. Be a fool, fight for your marriage, even when things are not going well. Sit down. When they slap you, you don't call the cops. When they do this, you keep quiet. They go out and cheat on you, you still take them back. Just be calm, be quiet, be patient, be forgiving, be submissive. These are the things that they preach. These are the things that they tell women. These are the things that they feel like submission should be. When you're talking and your man walks and keep quiet, when you're this is how it shows that you respect him. You should not have a say of your own. Just like Dr. Z was saying that it is not all men that are intelligent than their wives. So men even wait for their wives for opinion and be like, babe, what do you think about this thing? Because I don't know what to say. So men always want to take their wives along with them because she's more educated than them, because they know that they cannot even speak good English to start with. So that kind of person, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? See, sometimes when you ask them, like, can you define submission? Most of them, they just want to have a slave, a slave in the house that they can tell to do anything. They can tell you to shut up when you want to. They can beat you, abuse you, do anything they want to do with you. So far, you're the wife, you're a Christian wife. And at the end of the day, they're going to start telling you, oh, you have to be forgiving, you have to pray, you have to fight for your marriage. And the thing is that see, when it comes to marriage being successful, it is not just a woman being submissive. What is you? What are you doing as a man? What are you doing as a man? Are you playing your own role as well? Most of them are not playing their role, right? And they expect the woman to always be doing the thing on and on and on. You guys, what's your take on this short clip? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, check out Maya Davids. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.